Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Derek Austin. Welcome back to my channel. You know, I have to talk about points, miles, rewards, credit cards in general. I love to talk about, cash back too, but also programs like hotel programs, airline programs, how to redeem. I think it's more of a niche. I think I can really help out a lot of people is that redeem. There's so many people reviewing credit cards on how to assemble a lot of points. I think I'm gonna do a lot of that when it's appropriate, but I'm also gonna try to do a lot of videos on redemptions, on how to redeem and get a ton of value out of those points. Because if you're assembling points, but then you're just getting redemptions out of it that are not really worth that much. I've heard a lot of people be like, how do you get 2 cents a point out of American Express points or membership rewards points? It's really easy. You can do it. You can do it very easily, but you just got to know the sweet spots, and it's all about the sweet spots. So I think that's going to be like, what this channel is going to be all about. So this video is really just get to know me, why you should be listening to me about points and miles and redemptions and stuff like that. So, I've had a lot of experience with. One was a 1 year around the world trip, backpacking the world, using a lot of points and miles to do it. Sometimes we're just getting a lot of value, but sometimes we're just getting an upgraded experience while we're doing it, because you're on a budget when you're traveling around the world like that. I think overall we had about 40K cash with us, but then we had a lot of points, and the points, if not, definitely saved us a lot of money, but also had some serious upgraded experience, which was amazing. And we'll get down to maybe some bigger redemptions in that, maybe to show you where I went. Also, 2 times in Europe traveling with points and miles. And the first time I ever did it was we did a training experience. Me and my wife did a training experience through Europe, and we didn't know anything about points and miles. We pretty much paid cash. We were even using our debit card at the time, right? Next time after this world trip, we did a trip through Europe using points, miles, or of course using credit cards that had no foreign transaction fees and accrued. Stayed in a lot of Hilton and Marriott hotels that were amazing on that trip. But anyway, I'm gonna really concentrate on that world trip, the backpacking trip. So, it was a whole thing where we sold everything we had or gave it away. A lot of it was gave away, right? Got some backpacks, Osprey and Patagonia, the maximum carry-on size, packed everything we had in there that was ever left. It was mostly clothes. Got an electronics bag. You definitely need something like that. We already had T-Mobile, so we were good. They had a great plan for phone plan that just kind of picks up wherever you are, which was really awesome at no extra cost, or very little cost. And then, I put my 2 weeks in with my job, quit my 120K job at the time in New York, because I wanted to eventually move down to North Carolina where my family was living, my parents and siblings and all that stuff. A lot of my family just moved down there, so I wanted to get down there. We figured we'd do this trip, and 6 months before we went, we actually planned this out, accrued a whole bunch of points, and really had, again, no experience with points, pretty much nothing with points and miles. Kind of just did it, We went out from New York City, we went to Indy to start, and we flew business class. We used American Airlines miles. We both get the aviator card for 50,000 aviator miles. We needed to have 60 for the trip, and we weren't sure we got that. Use the 60,000 plus like $80 each, and business class, stayed in the lounges in Hong Kong. The Pure Lounge is amazing. Got the Centurion Lounge in there, and then moved on to India. That was not a stopover, that was a layover, and it was really nice and it was really cool. Awesome experience on Cathay Pacific. Fly Cathay Pacific business class. You're gonna like, the service is sick. Anyway, went there to Bali, stayed there for, we did another redemption. It was just an Aeroplan redemption. It wasn't very big, it wasn't business class. Anyway, did that, got to Bali. Bali, we stayed a month, did a lot of awesome redemptions there. One to note is that there's a Hilton in Agra, that's 5,000 points hotel. Not in Agra, sorry, in Denpasar. When you get to Bali, it's right by the airport. 5,000 points a night, stay 5 nights, it's 20,000 Hilton points a night. It's a sick deal, really nice place too. It's a Hilton Garden Inn that has sick breakfast. It actually has a resortish feel, beautiful pool. They upgraded to like suites. The suites weren't that great because of the Hilton Garden Inn, but it was really awesome thing to do. Meanwhile, we were also getting credit cards while we were going and sending it to my parents' house. They would give me a picture, and then if we had any expenses that we could put on, like online purchases, we would put it on to meet minimum spends and get bonuses. And I think we got the Aspire card when we were in there, but we had other cards like the SPG cards, the Platinum cards that we just got like just before we went on the trip. Also signed up for a Marriott Platinum Challenge. It was at the time it was 9 stays, not nights, 9 stays. And we go every other night at a hotel in Legon in Bali. Every other night, we actually pay like $40 or $40 a night. It was really cheap, so we just went every other day, and both got platinum, which is at the time platinum was the top status you could have. Eventually, because of COVID, I think we got grandfathered into basically getting titanium. I got titanium, my wife did not. I don't know how that happened, but I ended up getting it and still have titanium to this day. But anyway, that was a cool little travel hack. And we did it just before we left because we knew we'd be staying at hotels, of course, on this world trip. A lot of Airbnbs too, and hotels.com was huge. We did have a Venture One card, and you had to, at the time, it was 10 times the Venture points on either the Venture One or the Venture card, didn't matter, if you booked for hotels.com. And then hotels.com, you'd also get in their rewards program, get free nights out of that. So we're using that as well to book in between when we were not booking through Marriott hotels and Hilton hotels. That would be cash, but then we get a whole bunch of redemption points back, you know, so it was a really cool way to do it. And that program is gone, okay? But now they have the Venture X, so they have a 10X type of thing too now. So I think that actually, when I saw that, I thought actually that might be something good. If I was traveling around the world again, the Venture X card would definitely be one of the cards that I would get. Now, I'll savor one too. There's definitely one. And one other card that I have is the U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve. Would love to have that as well on this world trip if I did it again, right? So that was another great redemption. Just kind of move along here. Kuala Lumpur did some nice redemptions. It was also, actually, there was an awesome hotel there too. 10,000 point hotel. It was like a luxury DoubleTree in Kuala Lumpur. Had an executive lounge. You're getting all this free food. We had suite upgrades. It was like a saltwater pool, like saunas, and it was just an amazing place. But anyway, the hotel was. Kuala Lumpur is an awesome city, but the hotel was stupid good. I don't think it's 10,000 points hotel anymore. That one in Denpasar, 5,000 points, I think is still to this day. Went to Hong Kong, that was awesome, stayed in Airbnbs. Then went to Singapore, stayed in some hotels that I actually spent a lot more Hilton points than we wanted to because it was too expensive really there, so we didn't stay there very long. Ended up going from Singapore in Alaska Airlines, Cathay Pacific business class, and do a stopover in Japan, stayed there for 2 weeks, then went to Seoul, Korea. So you just use a stopover, and all of that was on one, like 20,000 point each redemption in business class on Alaska Airlines miles flying Japan Airlines, and utilizing that stopover and very minimal cash to, you know, tax and fees to do it. It was really cool and nice experiences in the lounges and the airports and stuff that they had. But Japan was awesome. Stayed there for 2 weeks. Very expensive. Stayed a lot in Airbnbs and used hotels.com because there wasn't that much to redeem. They were like really expensive to redeem too. That took a big chunk of our budget. But then we went to Korea. That was pretty cool. Went to the North Korea border for South Korea, saw the Korean War stuff. Anyway, moved on to Taiwan. Taiwan was really cool. I'm not gonna get into it. It was really just a cool place. There wasn't that much there besides just being an awesome place. Then we flew, made some redemptions on British Airlines to hop around in that area of Southeast Asia. We eventually went from Hong Kong to Dubai, and now we've shifted into the Middle East. Dubai was really cool. We went to some Hilton hotels, used our resort credits on our Aspire card. It was really an awesome place. Eventually, we flew out of there and went to Turkey, which was one of my favorite places in the entire trip. We rented a car, went to all of Turkey. We just drove all around the coast, through the middle, went to Cappadocia. We went all over Turkey in a car. It was really cool. What an experience Turkey was, and used a lot of Hilton hotel points, because the points were really cheap in all of Turkey. It was like a lot of like 5,000, 10,000 point hotels, 7,000 point hotels, 15,000 point Hilton hotels throughout, and we utilized that, but we also utilized Airbnb because it was a long time. From there, we went to Israel. Israel is a very expensive place, but a really awesome place. We do some pretty high redemptions in Israel, including our free night at our Aspire cards. We used those there, and we used some other points there. And then we also stayed in some Airbnbs. One was really nice, one wasn't. But anyway, we also went to Jerusalem, stayed in Airbnbs there. You know, walk where Jesus walked and all that stuff was really cool. Went to Jordan. Jordan, we had some nice redemptions. There was one in Petra, right by Petra is like just look up Petra. It's amazing. And we stayed in a hotel there. It was a Marriott hotel, a really nice redemption there. And then we went to the Dead Sea Resort in Jordan. It's on the Dead Sea where you can like float in the Dead Sea and all that stuff. It was a really nice resort. We stayed there. They upgraded us because of our diamond status to a suite, and they had a business class lounge. It was really cool. Really awesome experience in Jordan. Jordan was really cool too. Went to Egypt. We used our 7-day, there was this hotels plus air redemption you could do with Marriott, where we got a whole bunch of Alaska miles plus 7 days in a 25,000 Marriott point hotel. We used the 7 days Marriott hotel in a Marriott hotel right at where the pyramids were. We could see the pyramids. It was a really awesome hotel, had an executive lounge. It was a beautiful hotel. Really awesome experience. From there, we went to Cape Town. We actually used the membership rewards portal at 1 cent per point. Long story short, couldn't get the redemption on any of the airline partners to get lower than the amount of redemption points. I didn't want to pay cash, so that was pretty cool. But I didn't really want to use, you know, membership rewards points for 1 cent a point, but it ended up being the best way at that time. So sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. We got down to Cape Town, South Africa. Really cool. We stayed there for a month. Basically stayed in Airbnbs there. That was probably too expensive really for that type of trip, but we did it. We did stay at a couple Hilton hotels at times, like at the beginning and at the end of the trip, you know, from the airport and stuff like that. They were pretty good redemption, like 20,000 point Hilton redemption. Looking back now, it's like a good redemption. Back then, I thought it was so much points because we got to stay in those 5,000 point hotels and those 10,000 points hotels in Southeast Asia. You know, from there, we were actually kind of we were like losing our steam. And especially my wife, she was definitely like this is getting like wearing on her. We went to Ho Chi Minh City, from there in Vietnam through Hong Kong. We had an awesome redemption. What we did is we knew that we were going to eventually go back to New York from Southeast Asia. So we flew Cathay Pacific from Cape Town to Hong Kong, stopover, and then flying back to New York. And it was 62,500 miles, and like it was like $100 in tax and fees. But so we flew, which was a 12-hour flight from Cape Town, South Africa to Hong Kong, and I think it was actually a cheaper flight, like $4,000 or $5,000. I was surprised. So the redemption value on that one wasn't so ridiculous. But then we got to Hong Kong, then we took a different flight and flew it over to Ho Chi Minh City, stayed there for a little while, and eventually we decided we want to leave. We got back to Hong Kong, took the second leg of the Cathay Pacific using Alaska Airlines miles in business class, and flew back in business. Went there in business class when we started our trip. We left, we came back in business class when we left back. That was like a 15 cent per point redemption. I think the overall ticket was like $10,000 using Alaska miles, flying Cathay Pacific, and again using that stopover for another time where we got a lot of value. And Alaska Airline miles are amazing to get. Really the only way to get it is on their credit cards, by the way, and transfer them from Marriott. So yeah, and then we got back to New York. That was my trip. Tons of great redemptions. Learned so much about points and miles, especially like redeeming. You know, it's pretty straightforward on how you get the points. You know, you get the Amex Gold is 4x. You know, you get you know, the Chase Sapphire Reserve is 3x on dining and travel, right? You know that. But and and you hear that they're worth 2 cents per point from the points guy. I'm telling you right now, the videos I have that I'm going to be showing you on sweet spots, you can easily be getting an average of like 5-6 cents a point for your membership rewards points, for your Chase Ultimate Rewards points. Don't use a travel portal at 1.5 cents per point. It's not worth it. You know, the Capital One mile, same thing, where you're gonna get like 5-6 cents a point. There's so many sweet spots out there. I've learned so many things on that trip, but also after. You know, just researching on if I want to go to this place, what kind of points would I use? And man, long trips, I'd never ever want to travel in economy ever again. It kind of spoiled me on this trip. But you know, that's my story on my points and miles, my credit cards, using credit card rewards. Like I said, I will be doing, of course you've seen many times where I review credit cards, but I think with the value that I can bring to my community, that others aren't, like the great, you know, channels that review credit cards, like Ask Sebi and Credit Shufu. Now there's a whole bunch more. I can show you how to redeem, and I know I have a lot of experience in that. I know, and I've already had a couple of videos out there. Look out for those videos. This video will be attached to like a lot of my other videos, just to set up credibility. So like, why am I listening to this guy about how to redeem points, how to, you know, what credit cards to get, which is the best way to get to this spot? Why am I listening to this person? This is a video that kind of like, I hope gives me some more credibility. So you know, I know that I know, but now you know, hopefully then you know that I know a lot about this. So yeah, subscribe to the channel, and of course like the video. But this video will kind of be going on to being attached to every video I have, again, for credibility. So and maybe talk a little about this video and be like, check out this video. This is, you know, why I know about this, because you don't know me from Boo, right? So anyway, I hope you have a great rest of the day, you know, I guess I'll just see you on the next one. Have a great day. Redeem those miles. I'll show you how to redeem those miles, how to accrue the miles. But anyway, have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks. Bye.